I just love the glass art, all the detail in here.
Inspired by the white wisteria from Japan, this is
my house tour. If you notice the white wisteria, it's a Japanese influence. There was so much thought put into this house. Yeah, this is just so gorgeous. Do you like secrets? I love secrets. And this house, the Blinn House, is one of the best kept secrets of Pasadena. It has a feature inside that I have never seen in any other house before, and I want to show it to you. If you subscribe. I'm not going anywhere until you subscribe. It's a beautiful day, I don't mind. Okay, I'll take you inside. Welcome to the Blinn House. This was built in 1906. I love when somebody's thinking ahead. Now the Blinns, they were moving out here from Chicago, and this is a beautiful historic neighborhood. But everybody in this neighborhood, they were buying up single lots, but they thought ahead and they bought 2 lots side by side
to allow room for that classic long and flat Prairie school silhouette. The detail in the pergola's woodwork is masterful. I love the elegant floral pattern which references the wisteria vines found growing in the garden. This is a theme you'll find that repeats throughout the rest of the house.
This house is 6,000 square feet, about 10 rooms. You have 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms upstairs. I love the flow on this main floor as you come in, all the glass. If you look at all the detail, this isn't just a stained glass, they call it an art glass, and it's not just on the windows. You also see it on the light fixture, and you can see it on the most impressive feature in this home, that fireplace. The artist actually created a look by what you see outside the house. You can see the wisteria outside the front of the house, and then when the light shines through here, this sparkles like something magical. It's absolutely stunning. I love that you see the theme throughout the home with the glass detail, the art glass throughout with the light fixture as well. These are 3 separate panels that were built in Chicago, shipped over here and assembled. I've never seen a glass fireplace like this feature. I love that it's floor to ceiling, and you can see all the detail of the firebox is the same detail that you see in the house throughout. It's called a broken arch. Instead of just having a curve like most arches or just a flat structure, you have that broken arch. It's beautiful. That added detail just gives more interest to the home. At the front of the house here, the portico was originally open, but they haven't closed it since. The sleeping porch upstairs is not something you see a lot of out here, but I actually like it. The architect for this house, George Washington Mayer, this is the only house he's designed west of the Mississippi River. And I feel that some of the details that you have here is something that you would see in a different area of the country than you would see here, but I love it. One of the things I love about California, Los Angeles, Pasadena is that you don't have cookie cutter houses next door to each other. Every other house is a different architectural style. And then some of these beautiful features you just don't see in new houses nowadays. This is the kind of detail you don't see in a lot of houses nowadays. You can see that same broken arch, also called a segmented arch. But that's the kind of thing that I think is pretty amazing. When you have an architect who's putting a plan together, but they really tie some of those main features throughout the whole space. I really don't like it when you come into a house and every room or every level of a house feels different. It feels like it was an add-on and an add-on and an add-on. It was an afterthought. This definitely wasn't. Every detail is beautiful. It's actually interesting to think of all the big name architects that you know, Frank Lloyd Wright. Well, George Washington Mayer and Frank Lloyd Wright, they actually worked together back in the day. A lot of them worked out of the same office. This is considered a Prairie style home. If you're thinking of using every square foot of a home to maximize the function, that's not how they thought back in the day. So you see gigantic wide hallways, you see a lot of wasted space, but it wasn't about squeezing so much into every square foot. Nowadays, I think the problem is things are so expensive that families are trying to squeeze into a home that's maybe a bit too small for them, so they have to maximize the functionality. You would never have this much wasted space in a new build design. This is Mrs. Blinn's room. Okay, this is funny to me. You have one room here, which is Mrs. Blinn's room. She has a nice wardrobe area, her own bathroom, and then you have a separate room that was Mr. Blinn's room. I don't understand that. The couple don't sleep in the same room. Why did they do that? Can somebody tell me in the comments, why did they do that back in the day? Why was it 100+ years ago that all the couples slept in different rooms? Was that keeping the relationship alive? Because they had 4 kids, so we know they spent time together. I would rather use that extra room for guests or for the kids or something else. But who knows, maybe that's something, maybe Linda and I should try that. This is something I just learned. You've heard of a bay window, right? We all talk about a bay window, but when you have a window that doesn't go all the way down to the ground and it still protrudes like this window here, it's called an oriel window. And you can see some of that same detail in here, that art glass that we were talking about before. I love that these are actually functioning windows as well. That same detail that you see, that broken arch. It's such a gorgeous home, and every room having this thought and detail put into it is the kind of thing that I love. I'm actually seeing my son at 3 years old get really excited about detail in architecture as well, and that gets me really excited. Look at the size of this porch. This is gorgeous. So you have the full width of the front of the house here. Back in the day, thinking ahead, you keep it open on the sides because you don't have air conditioning in the house. And in the summer, if it gets super, super hot inside, especially on the upper levels because hot air rises, you step out here, you can have a day bed, you can have a nap, or even sleep at nighttime out here. You're protected, you're not down on the street level, but you have that beautiful breeze. I love that they thought ahead to get 2 lots side by side to build out a beautiful big home, because as you look down the street here, all the other houses down this street, all historic homes, but they're all single lots. This building here is double the width of the other buildings. There's so many cool things that I could talk about here. Even these canary palms that you see out front. I planted some of these on our place when we lived in Vegas. These actually were planted in 1902 when they were about this tall. Cut to visuals. The beauty, hi there. Well, thank you, thank you. I think things were built better back in the day. They were built stronger, they were built smarter in many ways. Even if you look at how they're waterproofing to make it last. This is the drain pan for the balcony. So if water gets in here, it'll just drain out. They have a tin wrap on the wood. You have your stucco on the side. I feel nowadays with some construction, they're just trying to pump it out fast. They're not building with the same longevity in mind. I love a historic home. In fact, I've never lived in or bought a new home. I always buy something that's older that has charm and character, and then I can add certain modern functionality while keeping that original aesthetic charm. An important thing for people to know with historic homes, codes have changed over the years. So if you look at me standing next to this rail here, I mean, this is basically at my knee. That's very, very dangerous for tall people and not great for kids, but it's something to keep in mind. Even the railings for the stairs inside houses that are historic, they don't typically meet today's code. If you think of spindles on the stairs, they're called balusters if you want to be more fancy and correct. In historic homes, they were actually spaced out a lot wider than what they have for code nowadays. I actually took my toddler, Parker, into a historic home, and he actually could fit his whole body through it. We've actually restored homes in the past that were historic that had those code violations, but we wanted to keep the original charm. So you can add additional spindles in the middle that look like a part of the decorative detail, but makes it safer for children. I would never let my kids out here. The history of a house is what makes it so cool. So thank you to Pasadena Heritage for letting us tour through this house. I'm glad I saw that fireplace as a cool feature. Maybe that's something I should do in my next place. But if there's a house that you have seen, or a house that you know of, whether it's quirky, whether it's weird, whether it has historic charm, whether it looks like a mausoleum in the middle of a craftsman neighborhood, whatever it is, let me know because I'd like to tour it. Yeah, this is just so cool.